Hello friends, today we will discuss about chemical equations and balancing of chemical equation. Let us first define what is chemical equation. Chemical equation. Now, if we represent a chemical reaction with the help of symbol of element and formula of compounds and balance the reaction, that means we made equal the number of atoms in left hand side and in the right hand side, the process is called chemical equation. Let us give an example. Hydrogen and oxygen reacts. Hydrogen plus oxygen give water. Now, to represent it by a chemical reaction, we write it like this. Hydrogen, symbol of hydrogen is H, and the molecular formula of hydrogen is H2. So, hydrogen is H2 plus oxygen, symbol of oxygen is O, and the molecular formula of oxygen is O2. Hydrogen and oxygen reacts to give water. Now, water is a compound and its formula is H2O. Therefore, when hydrogen and oxygen reacts, they form water. Now, we have to balance the equation. In left hand side, number of hydrogen atom is 2, and in right hand side it is also 2. But in left hand side the number of oxygen atom is 2, but in right hand side the number of oxygen atom is 1. So we have to multiply water by 2, and in this way the number of hydrogen atoms in right hand side is 4. Therefore, the equation is like that. 2H2 plus O2 gives 2H2O. In left hand side, the number of hydrogen atom is 4. In right hand side, it is also 4. And in left hand side, the number of oxygen atom is 2. And in right hand side, the number of oxygen atom is 2. This is called balancing of chemical equation. Let us again define what is chemical equation. Chemical equation is a representation of a chemical reaction with the help of symbol and formula and balancing the atoms of both sides. This is chemical equation. Now, let us balance some chemical equation. Phosphorus and chlorine reacts to form phosphorus trichloride. Now, in left hand side the number of chlorine atom is 2, but in right hand side the number of chlorine atom is 3. Now we have to balance the number of chlorine atoms, and to do this we have to multiply chlorine molecule by 3. As a result, the number of chlorine atoms in left hand side is 6, and to make chlorine atoms in right hand side 6, we have to multiply PCl3 by 2. As a result, in right hand side the number of phosphorus atom become 2, and to balance it we have to multiply P by 2. So the balanced equation between phosphorus and chlorine to give PCl3 is 2P plus 3Cl2 gives 2PCl3. Let us consider another reaction. Now, the phosphorus atom in left hand side, to represent the atoms of phosphorus, we have to multiply P by 2 in right hand side. If we write 2 in right hand side of phosphorus, actually we have to multiply the phosphorus by 2, and this 2 is written in left hand side of P. But if we write the number 2 in right hand side, it becomes the molecule of phosphorus. As for example, if we write P4, this represents a molecule of phosphorus. But if we write 4P, then it represents 4 phosphorus atoms. So, to balance the reaction between phosphorus and chlorine, the P atom is multiplied by 2 and chlorine by 3. Let us consider another reaction. Reaction between nitrogen and hydrogen. Nitrogen and hydrogen reacts to form ammonia. Now, in right hand side, the number of hydrogen atoms is 3. But in left hand side, number of hydrogen atoms is 2. We have to balance the number of hydrogen atoms both in left hand side and right hand side. So, we have to multiply NH3 by 2. As a result, the number of hydrogen atoms in right hand side becomes 6. 2 into 3, 6. And in left hand side, we have to multiply hydrogen molecule by 3 to make the number of atoms of hydrogen 6 in left hand side. And in right hand side, the number of nitrogen atom is 2. In left hand side, it is also 2. Because one molecule of nitrogen, where 2 is written in the right hand side of nitrogen, represent 2 atoms of nitrogen. Therefore, the equation is balanced. N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. Let us consider another reaction. Reaction between hydrogen and chlorine to give hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen plus chlorine give hydrogen chloride. In left hand side, the number of chlorine atoms is 2 because in left hand side a molecule of chlorine is written. Mind it, when 2 is written in the right hand side of chlorine, it represents molecule of chlorine, and one molecule of chlorine contains 2 atoms of chlorine because chlorine is a diatomic molecule. So in left hand side, the number of chlorine atom is 2, and in right hand side, it is 1. So we have to multiply HCl by 2. And when we multiply HCl by 2, the number of chlorine atoms in right hand side is 2 and number of hydrogen atom is also 2. And in left hand side, you see the number of hydrogen atom is 2 and number of chlorine atom is 2. So it becomes balanced. This is about balancing a chemical equation. Let us consider few more reactions. Let us consider a reaction where copper and nitric acid reacts to form copper nitrate, nitrogen dioxide and water. Now, in this reaction, if we count the number of nitrogen atoms, in right hand side it is 2 plus 1, that is 3. In nitrate radical, one nitrogen atom is present. Nitrate means NO3 and it is whole 2. 2 is written in the right hand side of NO3. So total number of nitrogen is 2 plus 1, 3. Now to balance it, we have to multiply HNO3 by 4. If we write 4 before HNO3, the number of nitrogen atoms in left hand side is 4. And in copper nitrate, 2 nitrogen atoms is present. So we have to multiply NO2 by 2. And when we multiply NO2 by 2, the number of nitrogen atoms in right hand side is 4. And the number of hydrogen atoms in left hand side is 4. So we have to multiply water by 2. So the equation becomes Cu plus 4HNO3 gives CuNO3 whole twice plus 2 nitrogen dioxide plus 2H2. If we count the number of atoms in left hand side and right hand side, it becomes equal. So this is balancing of the reaction between copper and nitric acid. Let us consider another reaction. A reaction between manganese dioxide and hydrochloric acid. When manganese dioxide reacts with hydrochloric acid, it gives manganese chloride, chlorine gas and water. And to balance this reaction, we have to multiply HCl by 4. Because in this way, we can make the number of chlorine atoms 4 in left hand side. Because in right hand side, there are 4 chlorine atoms, 2 present in MnCl2 and 2 in chlorine molecule. So the reaction becomes MnO2 plus 4HCl gives MnCl2 and Cl2. And to make the number of hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms equal, we have to multiply H2O by 2. So the reaction becomes MnO2 plus 4HCl gives MnCl2 plus Cl2 plus 2H2O. This is about balancing of a chemical reaction. Thank you. For testing your understanding of this lesson and more videos, log on to www.tubelessons.net.